Hey there, everybody. It's Wayne D. Welcome to the website, WayneD.com. And you're looking at Brett Walker. Brett is a young professional. He's going to be trying to qualify for one of the tours, probably Latin America, coming up. Missed it by a little bit last year and played in some of the PGA stuff and did fairly well this year. Had a few top tens and some good rounds of golf. So he feels like he's needs to get better. He likes the direction his game's going in, but he knows that he needs to be a better ball striker, definitely more consistent. So Brett likes to film his own swing, and he has his own ideas about what he'd like to do with his swing, which I tend to agree with. I gave him some other ideas the last couple of times we worked. So as you can see, physical specimen, big tall guy, very strong. Don't think he's maximizing his power potential, and his swing has some issues in it, and I'll show you what we were thinking. One thing he would like to do is to reduce the amount of slide in his head and upper body during the swing. So as you watch at regular speed, you're going to see the head get significantly past where it starts. And if I draw a line up from the ball, he's definitely right on top of it. Now you can see he's producing some forward lean, but one of the things that we noted in his first couple of lessons is trying to give him the feeling of better sequencing by increasing the amount of lateral movement and keeping the head more back so he could stretch these left side muscles on the way down. So you can see if you go back and look at his other video, he's added some lateral and he's almost behind it, but we still want to keep trying to improve on that. As we look at the either side, really, when you look at the takeaway, one of the things that I always suggest is I like everybody's got a trigger movement, and when they get too big and complicated, I think it creates more issues, and there would be other ways to trigger the swing without involving so much movement. I mean, obviously you've got a DJ and a Henrik Stenson and guys with big triggers that look kind of different, but if you're trying to reach the new level of ball striking, my idea is just quiet it down a little bit. Don't eliminate it, because that's stressful. Just try to quiet it down, because you can see with a weak-ish grip, when Brett forward presses, he'll move his hands up away from his body a little bit and bend the left wrist, so that sets up that bowed wrist at the top. Now obviously you've seen a lot of players with wrists like this at the top, so I'm not focusing on trying to get him to eliminate that or cup it, but one thing I do think would be beneficial would be to be able not to have the grip drop down behind him a little bit as he starts down, even though he does a fairly nice job of getting his right arm in front. You're looking at a high-end body here, so he's got good control of his waist. So he can pretty much do anything that he asks himself to. So that's my job, is to kind of organize the thoughts. So wanted to work on centering the upper body. So one of the things I always do is I'll draw a vertical up from the heels and just see where everything is, and as far as centeredness is concerned. Now we can see the hips are just about perfectly centered here, but the upper body has quite a bit of lean. So with the ball here, that puts the head well behind, and as we'll take the video through, you'll note that the head is going to recenter itself and end up in a pretty good position. But again, he's starting well to the right, moving a little more, and then moving well left. And I think that's one of the reasons why his lower body does not want to lead as much, because he has to get that head back into play there. So we started off, and he's always a concern, which is a great thing, about getting that compressed impact. So we started off by trying to center the setup. So here he accomplishes that more so, more centered. And this is, as you can see by the narrow stance, this is going to be a punch shot. So what we're talking about here, the basic punch shot is going to be backswing to left arm parallel. So I'm encouraging him also to keep his grip consistent a little bit longer, so when he sets up he's not doing what he's doing there, which is taking it apart kind of and then putting it back together. There's the press. So you'll see a little less sway movement going off the ball. So the punch shot by definition is left arm parallel and the club more or less at 90. And then in the forward swing, we're trying to hit a low shot with the ball forward in the stance. Trying to hit it as low as you can. And these shots are going about 100 yards. So we can put that good impact on it. And we'd really like to keep the finish down to about right there. This one will go slightly higher, but not bad. So when we looked at this from down the line, this is one he really liked. This swing right here. So this, again, this is the punch shot. You can see his left hand. Fingers come off that club right there, and then the right thumb. So I'm trying to get rid of some of that. So a couple good things happened to this swing. Watch the hand path on this punch shot here. Very different, right down the. So no drop back there. Excellent shaft positioning right on the forearm, right into the ball. And he really liked this release. Very different. So Brett was very excited to see this little swing here. And then when we looked at it from the front, one of the things we noticed was the head still moving a little bit more forward than we want. So there's the small backswing. See a little better movement with the hips. But when I draw that line up, you can see it. He's sneaking in front of it again. Now he's got good thrust at the end. By the time he finishes, he's got that belt buckle up to the what should be the furthest left point. Now we just got to get there. So then the last thing we did was I wanted him to feel what happens when he keeps his head still. Now, this is where what we talked about when we looked at this was the separation between the chin here and the left shoulder here. What he was doing before, if we look at this swing, we get it back to the same spot. Now watch the chin and the shoulder here. So notice how the chin will follow. So initially the chin will stay stuck to the shoulder and then it will separate. If I hold the head there, we're going to see that separation much sooner. Chin's going to stay there. And you can pretty much bank on the fact that if I don't let his upper body slide forward, he's naturally going to try to get the pressure more left to hit this compressed little punch shot by moving his lower body better. So it's always that lateral movement included with the rotation of the pelvis, and the depth is always still there. So what he's feeling here now is that he's loading into the right and using the ground to drive him more over and not leaning his upper body over. So I'm holding his head. Watch how nicely he gets through this one. Beautiful approach. Great impact right there. Bang.